everyone, I'm Amy with craftcuts.com, and today I'm going to show you the steps on how to make a wood sign using stencils. I'm going to be using our most popular plastic stencil, the mylar stencil. We do also have a couple other stencil material options on our website that would work for this project. I chose mylar because it's durable, pliable plastic that allows for a stencil you can use over and over. I'm going to show you the steps to make this awesome family name plaque on a round wood board. You can customize your stencil by choosing the name, font, and size on craftcuts.com. First, let's start with the materials you'll need. A wood sign base, mine is pre-stained. Your stencils, stencil brushes or sponge, acrylic paint, spray adhesive, some masking tape, a pencil, protection for your workspace. I'm using butcher paper, but newspaper or cardboard works too. A paper plate, and some paper towels. Let's get started. First, I'm going to figure out the perfect placement of my stencil on the wood circle. Our mylar stencils are somewhat transparent and come with a uniform 3-inch border around the letters to make it for easy placement on any board. I'm going to use this border as a guideline by placing my stencil on top of my board where I want my name to be, and then making sure the overhang on either side is even. Using a pencil, I'm going to mark on the stencil where my board ends on either side to use as a guide while attaching. Now it's time to attach the stencil to the board so it doesn't slide around while I'm painting. There are a couple ways to do this. With a mylar stencil, you can either tape the stencil in place using painter's tape or use spray adhesive. If you've chosen to order our one-time use vinyl stencil or our slightly reusable low-tack vinyl, you'll notice the back of these stencils already have adhesive and will attach directly to the wood board without additional adhesive or tape. Since this mylar stencil is large, I'm going to use spray adhesive because it makes for a crisp edge around the letters and reduces the risk of paint bleeding under the stencil. Make sure your workspace is well covered and well ventilated. Shake really well and lightly spray the back of your stencil, and then place it on the board using your pencil lines as a guide. Press down on the stencil, especially around those letter edges. Let's paint! I'm using an acrylic paint in white. The trick to getting a crisp line is to use a dabbing or stipple technique with very little paint on your brush. Wipe any extra paint on the paper plate or a paper towel. I'd rather apply 2 coats than have excess paint bleeding under the stencil. Whether I use spray adhesive or tape, I like to hold the stencil down around the letter edges while I'm painting, just to ensure no movement or bleeding. Let the paint dry just a bit and then remove your stencil. If you're using mylar, your stencil can be reused, so don't forget to clean it. The paint can be removed with soapy water. To remove the spray adhesive from the stencil, you might need to use a little paint thinner. Store flat until you're ready to make another sign. The word "the" is a separate stencil for this project, so now that the paint has dried, I'm ready to apply it. Because the stencil is much smaller, I don't need to use spray adhesive. I'm going to tape it directly to my wood sign. I'm still going to be sure to apply pressure to the stencil as I paint. Again, be sure to thoroughly clean this one before storing. Now I'm going to add the date to this sign with the same technique, but with our low-tack vinyl stencil. This stencil is pre-sticky and can be used a handful of times. Just stick it right on, and using the stipple method, paint your date. And there you have it, a fabulous custom wood sign. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial on how to make a wood sign using our mylar stencil. As always, our customer service team is here to help if you have any questions. See you next time.